Hello everyone, welcome to today's Novedge webinar, From Sketch to Sale with Virtual Reality CAD. Join us for this webinar session to find how Mindesk 2 can natively integrate virtual reality with Rhino, Grasshopper, SolidWorks and Unreal Editor into the ultimate platform for your design and sale process. You will discover how to delight your clients by involving them into a photorealistic and immersive collaboration experience. And also, you will find that VR can help you facing even the most challenging design tasks, like managing organic and parametric shapes, 3D form finding, and reverse engineering, while making them extremely easy. Great, good news. Today's presenter, Gabriele Sorrento, is the CEO and co-founder of Mindesk, and before being a tech entrepreneur, he worked with renowned architectural studios like Heller Manus in San Francisco and Renzo building workshop in Genoa as a 3D CAD designer, which he mastered since he was 17. Wow, an enfant prodige. And now let me tell you a little bit about Novedge and what we do. Novedge is one of the largest online stores for design software, and we cater to virtually every designer's needs. Put us to the test and come visit us at novedge.com. Here's the page where you can find Mindesk, but we also sell Rhino and a huge number of CAD solutions. And now, a special announcement for today's webinar attendance. We would like to offer all today's attendees and whoever watches the webinar after the fact on YouTube a special discount on Mindesk 2 1-year subscription. We have a promotion code that you can see in the slide that will be valid until February 28th, 2019, and that will give you an extra $400 off. So insert the coupon at the time of checkout and save big. But hurry because the coupon expires at the end of February. There you go. And also, I want to remind you that you can follow Novedge on Facebook, All+, Twitter, Instagram for software news, latest release, and helpful information. And last but not least, today's webinar is free and is being recorded. So if you want to rewatch it, just head on over Vimeo and YouTube. And now, without further ado, I'm gonna pass the microphone to Gabriele Sorrento, today's presenter. Take it away, Gabriele.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining this webinar. I'm Gabriele Sorrento, CEO and co-founder of Mindesk. I'm from Italy, so please forgive a little accent I have. And if you don't understand anything, please raise your hand and ask any question you want. Today, I'm presenting Mindesk, and I want to thank Novedge for hosting this webinar. Also, I want to mention that Mindesk is partnered with Epic Games, McNeil, HTC Vive, and Intel to bring virtual reality and CAD software together. Today, along with me, there will be Diego Taccioli, our solution architect, that will show you some use cases of our technology. So virtual reality, but in general, simulations have been used by many scientists and corporates to overcome some limitation of humans. Like it has been used for training pilots in dangerous simulation, as well as simulating things that are either too big or like astrophysics phenomena, or too small like molecules to be fully grasped, as well as to simulate behavior like the airflow or the building behavior in terms of condition inside that are too hard to simulate without a computer. And building itself make no difference. Before a building is built, several simulations are built inside a computer to represent the future of this building. And I'm speaking about BIM model in particular and CAD model. CAD model are the geometric and functional representation of building before they're even built. And designers use this extensively in the design phase, to the point that most of the design process is run on this kind of simulations. The problem is that buildings are three-dimensional objects, while simulations are experienced by the designer in 2D, namely behind a monitor. And this is a problem because especially in the conceptual design phase, it turns out that 70% of the time is spent in navigation, basically. So panning, orbiting, zooming in and out are action that designers do anytime to explore the full three-dimensionality of a model. And they spend most of their time doing this rather than actual modeling. So what we propose is using virtual reality for speeding up this 3D modeling phase and introduce collaboration on the same 3D model. This is how Mindesk works. So basically you start from a 3D model, a 3D CAD model. And without exporting anything from your CAD software, you can jump inside the CAD software and perform the design action that you're used to do. You can do this as an individual designer or in collaboration with another designer. In fact, Mindesk enables a virtual reality and desktop collaboration on the same model. And this enables also for an enormous speed up and advantage in the design phase. 3D modeling is exceptionally hard in some phases, like form finding and decision making. Let me give you one example. This is Oyster, and this is the first piece of furniture ever designed 100% in VR. The designer is Arturo Tedeschi from Italy, and he designed Oyster last year and exhibited it at Milan Design Week 2018. And this chair is special because it's the first piece of furniture that was completely designed in virtual reality. This is his story, but I would like to jump to the case. So in here, Arturo is using Mindesk and Rhinoceros together to define the generative curves of the Oyster chair. And what is innovative of this process, that it can define the shape of the curves directly in the space. So he's not using a regular mouse, rather is using a virtual reality controller to create and build these curves that then are merged together into surfaces. And then it can, with his bare hands, he can pick the control points and tweak it to his pleasure until he understands that the final shape is achieved. The great revolution of this tool is that being immersed, it's like you are working with clay, so you can understand what you're doing immediately as a visual three-dimensional feedback. And also, because you're not exporting anything from the CAD software, you can jump directly in production. In this case, a CNC milling machine has been used on hard foam to sculpt this beautiful chair, and the result was quite impressive, as well as easy, simple, and straightforward to design. So this is one of the works we're most proud of. But of course, this is not the only case. In this other case, Mindesk is used along with another software called Grasshopper, which is a plugin of Rhino. And Grasshopper is a parametric modeler. So in this case, using Mindesk, you are able to control the generative curves of some project, in this case a tower, and the Grasshopper would recalculate the generated geometries and show that in virtual reality. So for example, the designer in this case is moving the top curve that defines the height of this building, and the facade and the glazing and even the structure are automatically regenerated by Grasshopper. The interesting part is that he's experiencing this inside the computer in first person, and he can see the building in 3D. So he can immediately understand if the design choices made are correct or not. And this can save enormous time, because this prevents many design error. Just to give you an example, many architects spend hundreds, if not $1,000, and many hours in building 3D maquettes or 3D physical prototypes, sometimes using wood or cardboard or even 3D printing, while using virtual reality models can achieve the same result with much less effort, because everything is digital and zero material is involved. In this other case, we show how to use Mindesk and Grasshopper again to build a simple structure. This is the script of Grasshopper that has been implemented in this case. As you can see, it's extremely simple, and basically the core, the middle part, is the generation of geometry, which then is streamlined into the Mindesk component that renders out everything that received as an input into the R. And this is the equivalent result. So in this case, the designer wants to build a frame structure done in pipes, and the designer defines the generative curves as a basic curve in the space, and Rhino and Grasshopper provides the final geometry. You will notice that as soon as the designer creates the shapes in virtual reality, they appear also in Rhino, and this works bidirectionally. In fact, someone else could move this geometry in Rhino, and the designer would experience that change in VR directly. I will jump forward a little bit just to save a little time. So this is the structure once completed, and this is a render of the final structure. Another use case of Mindesk is using it along with simulation software. Like in this case, we connected Rhino and Grasshopper to Radiance to have a calculation about the lighting in this simple room. So using Mindesk, it's possible to change the shape of the room, and the simulation will run meanwhile in the same moment, giving back the result immediately. And again, it's possible to experience the result of this simulation inside virtual reality. So virtual reality becomes a hub of different software where you can imagine and build your own workflow. And before jumping out to the next use case, I would like to give the speech to Diego, which will show you some basics of 3D modeling using Mindesk.
Okay, stick around. Okay.
You guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Diego, and we can see your screen.
Great. Hi, everyone. So I'm going to show basically how to launch it. So, and the entry tools and commands for it. So, Mindesk, you're going to have a little tab up here. Just start the VR. You want to make sure your Steam is running and your Steam VR is running. And once you get this image, you know you're ready. If you full screen it, either by hitting that, but also hitting F11, you can see we're inside the car. I'm going to put on my headset right now, so someone let me know if something is going wrong, but should be fine. So, all right. So on the sides, you're going to have these two buttons. If you hold them together, you can pan out like this, or you can pan forward like a rope. If you squeeze them at the same time, you're changing the scale, so you're making it smaller. So for example, right now I'm at 1:1. I look around the car, and it feels exactly like I'm inside this car. So I'll just go ahead and zoom out and kind of just see the whole thing here. On the left hand, or basically the hand with the 3 lines, you're going to see the toolbar. So you have your basics, scale, copy, move, and rotate. We have a series of snaps that also works with it. And we'll talk about this near snap in a bit. This is for Mindesk only. And then you have some basic modeling geometries like cylinder, cone, box, sphere, and then some lines like a spline, polyline, turning on the knots, revolve, offset, extrude, loft, and patch. You can also array and change the reference plane and even create dimension lines from it. The new interface is really quick and simple. If you just go up to something, you see the bottoms here. There's the right and left trigger. To select something, you basically select it with your trigger on the right hand. You can deselect by just clicking away from it. If you half select, or basically half pull down the trigger, and then you hover over things, it will allow you to basically see what you want to select. In this case, a window. If I want to move it right away, just grab it and move it. It's pretty straightforward. You'll see these 2 little buttons on the top here. The left is going to be undo, the right is going to be redo. So that's pretty nice to have that situation right at your fingertips, so you don't have to take off the headset for that. You can also copy, similar to Rhino. The way you do in Rhino, you basically hit Control at the same time. So let's say I select this wheel. If I hold down my left trigger and I pull it, it's going to basically bring it out. And notice I have on my axes right here, saves on this red axis. So let's say this is the X. So I know that that's directly in front of that, which is nice to know. But also I don't need to, let's say I wanted to like dissect this wheel. I don't need to just pull it out. I can also just copy them out. There's also the command. So let's say I wanted to, let's say we want to see inside this car. See what this motor is working with. So I'm going to go to rotate here. With your left arm or your left hand, you basically set the lock point, and then you rotate up. Basically go inside the car. Really nice about this kind of stuff is you do have a really technical model, like for SolidWorks, for instance. You can really get in there and see exactly, you can move your head around, you rotate, you can see exactly what goes where, and if there's a problem with the way you, let's say you set up your circuits or your motor, you see some collision. So it's really nice in that feature. If you want to create, or you want to do the same exact command, you'll notice there's like a blacked out command right over here. That is the rotate command. So if I just use my thumb, my right thumb here, it basically allows it to reuse the same command. So that's pretty nice. And let's see, what else should I show? The box command is pretty commonly used. So the nice about the box command is you can model similar to how you do in Rhino. So you can either select a piece, and then if you notice the XY, or in this case plane, you know that that's going to be where the base of the box is. If you want it to be on the other plane, you bring it over to where you see the ZX, so the blue and the red, and then you can basically click and make a box. But you can also just click and hold by using the same command with thumb and make a box. And as I mentioned before, there's these special snaps. This is an end snap, pretty straightforward that you're used to seeing. You'll see right when you're on the actual corner of it, it's going to give you this little cone right here. That means you're about to snap to that, which is great. So you know that even though you're in VR, you can still have exact precision like that. What's really nice about this near surface snap is that you can actually snap to the actual surface, anywhere on the surface. So this command isn't quite even ready for Rhino yet. It's not available, so it's really nice in VR. It's especially important because obviously you don't have the same type of interface that you're used to. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's a pretty decent overview. Let's see. Let's make a spline, for example. So spline, you can make a spline exactly on a flat plane, as long as you realize that the guidelines are all flat. I can turn on those points. And I can make it a patch. So the kind of possibilities are pretty out there. They're pretty endless. Once you start get a hang of it, you can model really quickly. And I'm obviously going a little bit slower just to kind of show what's going on here, but you can really dissect the model pretty quickly using the commands these basic commands. But also, as Gabriele mentioned, once you set something up in Grasshopper, then the possibilities, of course, are really endless, because it really demands it's a matter of what's in that actual definition that really brings on the geometry that you're going to get out of it. And this whole time I have not taken off my headset, and it's just been pretty user-friendly. All right, just transition off to that.
Thank you, Diego.
Yes.
I have a question for Diego before we transition to your screen again, Gabriele. What kind of headgears are you using for VR?
Right now I'm using Vive, HTC Vive Pro. Earlier I was using mixed reality, you can use Oculus. They're all compatible for that.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
So the name of this webinar is From Sketch to Sales, because this tool it's quite flexible and encompasses many stages of the design process. Another use case that is not released yet, but we are about to release this in a few days, and you will be notified, of course.
Gabriele, sorry, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Could you minimize your control panel from the webinar? Usually that is not visible, but for some reason, perfect. For some reason, we were able to see it, and I didn't know why.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
I was saying, we are about to release an integration that allows to use virtual reality to navigate point clouds, and this is extremely useful in reverse engineering operations. For example, in this case, the designer loaded a 3D scan in Rhino. This is the tech wood shop in San Francisco, and here using Mindesk it's possible to rebuild the model using the 3D point cloud as a reference. So by doing so, it's not necessary to take measures or quotes or anything to rebuild the model, but the model is rebuilt on top of the point cloud. And of course, you can snap on the points to have the most accurate modeling process. This makes reverse engineering really fast, because today, to do this on a 2D monitor, it's very complicated, because sometimes it's easy to click on the wrong point, and then some designer use cutting planes to take just a little slice of the whole 3D point cloud. But having a 3D interface allows you to work with the whole 3D model without taking off slices or reducing your point cloud. And also, again, the tool is very flexible, so you can mix different software together. Like in this case, we are using not only Rhino, but also Grasshopper, for example, to rebuild this piping inside the model. So Grasshopper builds the shape of the pipe, while the user has only to define the control points of the generative curves. So with this combination, rebuilding the pipe model is not only easy, but really fast. You can see on the top right that the definition, oh, let's get back. The definition of this parametric pipe is extremely easy. So basically, this script is taking as an input the curves that the user generate in Mindesk, and then fillet the curves for a certain radius and generate the pipe. As a result, the workflow for making a pipe is much simpler compared to what you should do if you couldn't have this 3D interface. So we talk a lot about how VR can impact the modeling phase in Rhino, but again, what we are proposing is much more than a modeler. Is a platform for design that connects to all the many virtual reality headset actually currently available on the market, namely Oculus Rift, HTC Vive, and Windows Mixed Reality, but more are coming in the future. And works also with many software. We have Rhino for architectural design, interior, and furniture. And soon we are about to release a compatibility with the SolidWorks for industrial design, and a Unreal Engine and a Unreal Editor for photorealistic design. I want to give you a preview in this webinar about what will be the experience of using Mindesk with these two other software. Let me just load the video. So this is a video we showed at the last, we shoot at the last SolidWorks World in Santa Clara, and show how you can use Mindesk to interact with the SolidWorks model. In this example, this designer is turning the blades of this stellar engine, and SolidWorks is solving the dynamic movements and kinematism of the blades in real time to show him how the model works. Let me show you again. So here is on the left, there is SolidWorks, and in real time, the virtual reality simulation is working. And this is another example with another model. In this case, this is a wheelchair with a very, very complex assembly. Yes, and the designer can use virtual reality to simulate how the model behaves before it's even built. This is very relevant because using this system, you can engage your customer early on before you have any physical prototype. And you can choose, you can make design decision, or you can listen for the feedback about the design and the functionalities directly from your customer. And this is something new that can really boost and increase the chances of winning a project or satisfy a customer. Or whether the customer is coming from the industry or the mechanical field or the architectural field as well. I'm mentioning architecture because another option we are launching is the integration with Unreal Editor and Unreal Engine. I show you this second video. In this video, we are showing how Mindesk can integrate Rhinoceros into Unreal Engine. So here we have a 3D model of a small restaurant, and on the top left display, we can see what the designer experienced in virtual reality. So as you can see, it's possible to navigate this 3D model, just like Diego showed a few minutes ago, but this time the experience is rendered in Unreal Engine, which means that the material is photorealistic as well as the lighting condition and simulation. And of course, today is already possible to do this in using other software, including the tools that Unreal itself is providing as Datasmith. But the difference here is that you can, in real time, in virtual reality, change the 3D model, which means, again, that you can involve, if you're an architect, you can meet with your clients, and together with your clients, change the 3D model into a photorealistic environment. This is, we believe this is the future of design, and not only design, but also sales, because using this kind of tool and using virtual reality, you can engage with customers, make them feel immersed in the building, in the design, in whatever you're developing and selling, and doing this with no effort, without changing any of the software that are currently used for design. I hope this video gave you a thoroughly preview of what we are developing, and we are very, very eager to answer any question you have. Also, I want to mention one final point. Let me get out of this. All right. So we just announced this feature called real-time photorealistic CAD. If you go on store.mindeskvr.com/UE, you will find our article about this, and if you scroll down, you can sign up for a closed beta. So whoever will sign up to this form will be included for an early demo of this integration. Thank you very much. And if you have any question, again, you can ask me or Diego at our mail address.
Thank you. Or you can type in the questions right now on the question tab. So we're sticking around a few more minutes to see if you have any question. Thank you so much, Gabriele and Diego. We're waiting a few minutes, and this is our favorite part of our webinar, where our attendees can interact directly with you guys, and they can ask away. In the meantime, while we wait for the webinar, I want to show you again, for the questions, I want to show you again where Mindesk is going to be on our product page. And I want to talk to you about our coupon that is going to be active until February 28th. So here's two things you can do. You can go to our product page, download the free demo of Mindesk 2, play around with it, and then if you like it, you can secure this huge discount. But you have to do this before February 28th. So I hope you will take advantage of this. And as Gabriele said, this is the future of design and of sales. I think it's pretty smart to update your tools, and especially a tool such Mindesk. In the meantime, I don't see any questions. There's a couple of comments thanking you for the webinar, Gabriele. Everybody's very impressed. I also want to thank everybody for attending. And I want to remind you that I've been taping this session, and I will post it on YouTube and Vimeo as early as this afternoon. So you can watch it again, share it with your boss or with your colleagues in your office, and download the demo and play with Mindesk on your own. And thank you again, Diego and Gabriele. Have a great rest of the day, everybody, and come visit us at novedge.com. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.